Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Tuesday, October 12. And on the ASX here, we're looking at, well, it's complicated, wave 3, a double zigzag, so an A, B, C for W, an X and an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4. Now, we are seeing our commodities being bullish after China coming back from holidays and seeing copper push up and iron ore push up. So we're looking at those resources pushing to the upside, and also the banks have got a good opportunity to move up as well. So we need to be prepared to be long in those. But how can this move down if the banks are going to move up? So I'm still scratching my head about that a little bit. So we also need to be prepared for going long here as well, just in case. We always have been, but we need to edge towards that a little bit more. And really quite simply, the 7,300, that's the resistance, so we'd need that as support. That would be the first step in the market showing any strength to the upside, because at the moment it's still the resistance. And we're also looking at this particular pattern for the US markets as well, so we're wanting them to pull down, and they're pulling down in the right way. We can have a look at those if need be, but let's just go in and take a look at this. So from the daily chart to the 4-hour chart, we've been on this B run here for quite some time, so hopefully that's finished on that little spike there to the upside. But we do need now to see the market obviously move down. Now, in terms of going long, well, technically we could go long above that second little spike in there, which we'll have a look at. The safer trade would be to wait for the first high above the level, so any move to the upside there, wait for that, don't chase it, and allow it to fall back, and then we'll pick it up from that side. So that would be the safer trade, because any move let's just say that the market moves above here. If it moves above here, then it's going to fold back on you. You might be able to take that heat, but that's something that you just need to take on board. So this is where we are. We're looking for 5 waves down here for wave C of Y of 4 to finish this double zigzag of this ABC, and then ABC here for that double zigzag. Yeah, so look, if like I mentioned, if I've got this wrong, then we would need to visually see in one way or another support on top of that 7,300, the top of minor group 1 of 7,000. Let's move into the hourly chart and look at this a little bit closer. What's that C wave doing there? That should be over here somewhere. We've got one over there already, so that's that. So we don't need that. Not sure where that... Oh, that was just another count of being a low. Right, gotcha. Okay, that's where a possible low could be in play. Yeah. So that can be the low of the whole situation, but then we'll need to look at this as wave 1 then, you know, and then, well, an ABC back for wave 2 really. So let's just put that in, shall we? So if it was going to be bullish, it could still come lower and still be bullish at this point as well, because that's just normal. Up for wave 1, an A and a B and a C back here for wave 2. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think one of the interesting points here, we looked at obviously being short here yesterday, but we'll revisit that in a moment. But you see how this move here is in 3 waves, and it confirms that it is 3 waves once it takes out the low here. So it's just nipped out the low here, so that would confirm that there is corrective, and that being corrective, confirming that low being taken out here, that means that this low needs to be taken out because this is corrective. It's not like this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, because it's breached that low there. So it's an A and a B and a C wave here, and it's breached that low. So that means that given some time, it should take that low out. So we would need to look at this as probably wave 1 to the downside, wave 2 pulling back, probably somewhere in amongst all of that there. We can check on that a bit later in the video. So yeah, we could view this as wave 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and oops daisy 4 and 5 down here for that would make wave 3. Do we have wave 3 there? Yep. Wave 3 normally comes in around the bottoms here somewhere, so these bottoms here somewhere, so we'll just put that there. It'll be a nice bounce off that. We'll bring that down, put that up there. That could be a bit lower into this space here. This is why that will it will take time getting through that area there. And yeah, let me clean this up here. We don't need that. Don't need that and that. So technically we can go long above here now, because at that point it would confirm that we're bullish. So according to the plan, according to Pete, is further downside at least. I mean, and as mentioned, we may just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and the market can move up from that point. So we'll just be we'll just be a bit more aware of where we are in the account at that point. Okay, so you got that picture. So just to summarize this, we're looking from A here, an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave, and then 5 waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down for wave 5 of C, of Y, of 4. That's the main game plan there, with all of that. And that would give us 3, 4 and 5, something of this nature, and then down. Obviously this is driven by the banks, but the US banks are bullish, the Australian banks look a bit bullish. You just need to keep an eye on those a bit. So yeah, the other count here, just to mention, is that if the low is in place here, we could just copy this Y here and put that there. And yeah, so actually I'll just put the delete that, just put that there, and I'll just dull that out. Try to be professional, Pete. So yeah, so we've got this scenario coming down for wave 4. If this wave 4, if that is the low in here, we're not going to miss anything because we're going to buy that high. But at the same time, we could look at that as wave 1 and pulling back to wave 2 in here and then moving up. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So as it stands today, though, we should, because that's breached that there, we should see that take out that low. Let's just go to the tick chart now. Got the sort of skeleton of it together. Looks like 5 waves to there already, so that looks like 1 and 2 in here, and 3, 4, 5. So that's 1 and 2, and that's 3, and that's 4, and that's 4, that's 5 to there. So I've just got that extra little bit there. Oh, that's where it comes from, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so I thought we might be down a bit, well, not to worry. One of the things that we can see here, though, is that this is group 2, 65, 72 and 80, and it's trying to find that as the resistance. It's tried it before and failed. I know we're going to be close to the low there, and the reason I know that we're close to the low is because if I look at the S&P 500 here for a moment, it appears to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5 here. There can be another little move down here for that. So that's sort of where we are. I think that we can get another move into this and then look at this. So that means that I'll just take it to this low. So that would bring us back up here. So this becomes a little bit interesting for day traders, because that means that if you're not short already, then just allowing this to finish off here and retrace and look at the bottom of wave B, that's where we can go along there. Because we've taken out that low here, that means that this is an A and a B and a C, and that means that that low can be taken out at that point. So we'll just label this here. Okay, so that's where we're at. Today's Tuesday. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to come down there, to be honest. I can see that that's 1 and 2 here and the third wave here, so there could be a fourth and one more here, but that looks like 5 waves to that point. So I wonder if we've already got wave 1 and 2 in this case. I'm just going to copy that for a moment, put that there. So I think that the other point with this is that if we look at that as 5 waves, then this would be also wave 1 here and back for wave 2. So it may not go that high. So it may be that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and then just goes back to here and then drops at that point. So wherever that low is here, then look to short at that point. This can be wave 1 and 2 at that point. Okay. So let's have a look at the banks. So Combank, it was up yesterday, but it was up on, it was a holiday yesterday or something, Monday, Tuesday, what's that there, just a flat day or something. I don't get out much, I don't know when holidays are. Well, it hasn't taken that top out, so we're not really going to worry about it. Let's just see if it folds back down today. I mean, the other way to treat all of this, of course, is it was very difficult to get 5 waves out of this here. So it's possible that we could be having wave 4 over here on that low here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and building to the upside, and all of that goes over to here, so to speak. So there's different ways that I can look at all of this. It's just never jumped out at me and said, Pete, that's it. Do you know what I mean? I haven't actually seen it. I have to work to get it, and when I work to get it, I can see that I have to force everything that I do in both directions. So it makes it very difficult for me. So I just don't like forcing the situation. But I also know too that's a 61. We have to be long at that point, above that high. It may suck us in and mess us up a bit, but we still need to take that, because this market has been correcting across the 100, and if it's going to make new highs, well, obviously we'd go long above this high, but we should also use a lower high if we can. And we knew that this was in three waves here, coming up here, so we knew that that would be taken out. So we just need to see if this is down for 1 and back for 2 and working lower, or we're going to take that out. And this is, I had a look at ANZ as well and looked at it slightly differently as well. So I really did it for myself, not so much of doing anything else. So see, on CBA, we got this as the high, but it never gave us a high here because it's a following stock to a point. I mean, it's got different interests in different countries, so it's slightly different, but it makes that made a really nice 5-wave structure here, and because it was kind of laborious and long and lazy, it really reminds me of a C wave, and this move up through here is really in 3 waves. So you know, to have that as a B wave and to use that as the high. So I've rearranged things a little bit over here. It still fits quite nicely from wave 4. You've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third, the fourth here, and then all of this, the 5th wave here for the third, and this as being the 4th, and this being the 5th here of the third. So an A and a B and a C here. So if you want to go long here, then this is the place to do it. I don't have a lot of confidence in anything at the moment for these, but not with the ASX pointing the other way, you know. We know that we don't have to worry about this, but we did put some work into this to count the low down and pin the low here. So we got the low, and it's not that we're seeing a good 5 waves up here, and we can look at it as 1 and 2 in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave for that. That would be, let me just double check that's not quite right. 1 and 2, maybe it's got to go to there. But if you're going to go long, I was just looking at this as the A, the B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and build. If you're going to go long, you'd need to go long here today, you know, or just leave it above that high there. So just to give it a bit of space. But you could, it may not pan out okay for you. You could put a closer stop in as well. You could probably go to here. It's high risk. I'm unsure what's going to happen here. We may end up just getting up to this box here, coming into this box and then folding back over. This is 28, so the safe, yeah, let's not do that. Let's just wait. Let's just wait for the safe trade. So we would need that to push up above, and then we would need to see it come down again. We need to see something like that. So let's just wait on that so we don't get, it's roughly there somewhere. So let's just wait to see we get a better setup on this level, because it's really coming up to here. We've got the arrival, the reaction. We'll look for the first high above the level, then the correction. So just in case this is some sort of A, B, C pattern here and dropping back. So yeah, let's just not do anything here. Let's just also see how the ASX plays out as well here. So I'm just going to take that off there for a moment. But I think it's kind of an interesting situation here. Just need to get a little bit more evidence on that. Let's have a look at, first one is China. So China's pushed up a little bit further, so that's nice. So that low that we've been talking about here, so that's going to be kind of helpful for the Alibabas of the world, all the stuff that's trading on the New York desk. Just sort of seeing in different ways that it can be counted. But we'll start treating it as an impulse wave. It looks a bit third wave-ish there, doesn't it? You know, being quite powerful. So 1 and 2 here and 3 here. So we'll also look at this as 1 and 2 here. Not sure the best way to look at it, but we'll just label it here for this at the moment. And no, it's too small. Maybe something like that. Anyway, let's just keep an eye on the 5 waves. This is the other point here too. Obviously this line through here, the 1650, which is a medium level carrying the same weight as the 15 here, just a little bit unusual. Once we get support on that, obviously if it's going to fail, that's where it's going to fail from, because it's just retesting supply over here for that. So let's just see. I mean, this could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to here, do you know? So we just need, we'll put that there. We need to be mindful of that. Something else we need to navigate. And India is going to push higher. We've kind of been talking about that, so, well, it already has. So yeah, do we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? But either way, we still need to put something over here for that. But like I said, I wasn't going to get involved in this for another trade until we've had a classic trading levels pattern here. So we've had the arrival, the reaction, we still need the first high above the level, and then we'll need the ABC pattern. Once we get that, then I'll start looking at all the errors that I've made in all of this here somewhere. So yeah, not to worry too much at this point. It does look like a third wave in here for this, but anyway, we don't have a trade set up here yet. That's the main point. So we can go over to, what do we normally do next with all of this? Where's my list? This list. So the commodities, rightio. Let's just start with gas. So with gas, I thought we may have an expanded flat correction, and I'm kind of right. I have to go back in and check, but we're certainly getting something a little bit larger now, because if that was going to be a wave 4 there, that would have been at that point. So now we need to do either two things here. We need to look at, I need to recheck this to see if we can put wave 5 over here for that of wave 3, and then we're in wave 4 here at the moment. If we're in wave, we are in wave 4, but so we should be pulling back to this wave 4 here, so closer back to the $5 mark here, which is kind of good, because if we have a look at just WPL as an example, there'll be Santos as well and other stocks. What we've noted is that we've had this nice run up through to here. We're at, in this case, we're at the medium level, $25. So we're waiting for this to, we've been waiting down here for this. Well, I said it was okay to go long at this point as well, but basically we're waiting for this to top out and then pull back. So while natural gas is doing that pullback for that wave 4, that should give us some sort of consolidation in here to work from. It won't be very big because all the corrections here have just been 3 days. So, but we should see something correcting this. We should see 5 days at least, So we don't have that yet, but that's what we're looking for. I won't look at any other gas stocks today, because the other point too is that if I go straight to crude, it's possible to count crude. I don't think it's the case, but we can count 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the third wave, fourth wave and fifth wave. So it's possible to have a top in for this. But I have to say that, because I've just counted it in a very minimal way, but I have to say that, putting this wave 3 here with wave 4 here and then wave 5 up here, it's pretty close to this one. It hasn't, this degree of structure, we should be going much further up. So, yeah, I will give this some consideration. So, but just to take you on this journey for a moment or two, let's just look at it here. It's just 100 ticks. So we can look at wave 1 to here, or we can look at wave 1 to over here. I kind of like it here because it keeps the correction simpler at that point, and this low is below that low. And then here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then the third wave, ABC for the fourth, 1 and 2, and 3, 4, 5 for the third, back for the fourth here, and then up for the fifth. So really we can have 5 waves there. Now I can extend it out further. That's not a problem. But I just think that even here, if we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we can have a top in play here. So what we'll do for the meantime is that we'll put that there, all right, as a top. I don't want to call it in as an intermediate wave 5 at that point. It's possible, but it just seems a bit short. So what I'll do is I'll just observe for a little while, and first of all we can see 5 waves here. So what I'm looking for over here is a bullish corrective pattern. So I'm looking for overlapping wave structures, and I don't have it yet. It's too early in the piece. But it gives us a nice high above the level, about above the $80 mark. So that's good. You can go long above this high, because if it's going to be bearish, and correct, then it shouldn't go below that. It should just continue lower here for that. So any move above here would be bullish. So anyway, something just for short-term traders, but that's it really. So just going back to the daily chart for a moment, just to let you know that you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth and fifth. I just think it's a little bit small, and all of this here I just consider the third wave in a way. But still, let's just play it out. Let's see what occurs here. We need something to get our teeth in. Yeah, some sort of corrective pattern. I'm just not seeing it yet. Anyway, just letting you know where we are with that. And iron ore, so I'll just go back to the daily page first just to get perspective. So yes, we've seen the market push up. I looked at the tick chart and I've started to label it in a positive way, in an impulse way, but it could certainly be counted as corrective. This high to this low here, that was the 50-60% through there, so we've sort of churned through that a bit. So that's a positive. So the next positive, I can count this as being corrective or impulsive. So I think the next sort of step, I think that the count is in. I think it's all okay, but we need to prove that. So I think we did count that as corrective, didn't we? Going back, I'd have to double check on that. It's been a while. So it's not impulsive. It's corrective, so that means that the low is in here, because I thought we may come back up for a larger fourth wave to this point here. I think, plus the volume, I think that we're in. I know their stockpiles are low. They're looking for, it was down at the US 100, so 120, 130 Australian, so a ton, so yeah. But let's just see, the next step is climbing onto the 800 here as support, and it's going to take a good week or so, but it will probably just burn straight through that, because we can see that the volume is quite strong as well. But anyway, let's just give it some time. Let's have a look at the tick chart, because I said that we would look at it today. And so we're looking at the low being in here. Counting up here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. So this could be viewed as 1 and 2, or it could be an ABC for the A wave here, and then the B wave and the C wave up here, and fail at that point. So we still need to see more. I can look at this as the third wave here, but because I'm counting this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, we could also view it as 1 and 2 here, because it's a nice sharp correction rather than a wave 4. And then this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so that's 5 waves to there. That's 5 waves to there, so we need a correction, and then we need another 5, so that will give us 5 waves to up to that top there. And that will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could also be an A and a B and a C to that point there as well. So we need to get past this A, B, C possibility, and going long above here. So because it's reacted here, we can view this now as a classic trading levels pattern here. So that's going to be helpful in viewing the upside, or just make life easier. So we've got the arrival, we're in the reaction here. We need the first high above the level, and then we need all this fluff over here, and then we need support again. So once we've got this, if we get this, then we know that we're bullish on this. And of course this is important because of stock. We're going to have a look at copper now. So with copper here, there's a couple of things that we need to chat about. Yeah, so wave 3 here, and we've pulled back for, well, this box here. This is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and the 38.2% retracement was above. So it's been in this space here for a while, and all is good. So it's just kind of figuring out what's what. So I was still in my triangles phase. So all of this is wave A here, and then an A, B, C, D, and E here for the B wave, and then down a short wave down for the C wave here of wave 4. So that's what I've been working. So I'm looking at this B wave to C wave here. I'm looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. And in the C wave here, I'm looking for 5 waves in that move, and we'll have a look at that. I was thinking though, just thinking outside the box, and it's a bit of a long shot, what about if this is the A wave and this is the ABC here for the B wave up here, and then the C wave is this move down, this move here, which is a little bit weird, but stay with me for a moment. So we've got wave 1 here, and 2 here, and 3 here, and then 4 here, and then 5 here. So it's a bit of a odd situation where we've got C of 4. It's just a bit of a long shot, because if this market just continues up here, then we need to understand what's going on, and then we would need to look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and going into wave 3, 4, and 5, and building to the upside. So I don't want to miss anything, of course. So that's what I'm kind of thinking as well. And now I know that a lot of Elliotticians will just sort of roll their eyes and say that must be Pete again. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. But let's just go to the triangle for a second on the, is it the hourly chart or the tick chart? Can't remember. The hourly chart. Good. Okay. So we've got the A wave over here, then the ABC for the A wave, the ABC for this A wave, an A and a B and a C here for this B wave. So an A and a B, and then an A, B, C for the C wave up here, then an A, B, C for the D wave here somewhere, and then the E wave over here. So all in lots of 3. So within this space here, I'll need to put a bit more work into this, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're close to the top here. I'll need to double check this here on the tick chart, but I'll do that. But let's just see if how this tops and turns at this point. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that. So I am aware that the market could just keep on going, but we'll need to be on top of that. That will probably go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll need to double check that little area there. Okay, so I think that's most of the metals. So the US dollar index. I'm not sure where the Australian dollar is, so I won't look at that today. The US dollar we need to talk about. So it does seem to be bullish, obviously. I mean, it's pushing up, isn't it? And we can see that it needs to push up higher. This is the daily chart here, and with the daily chart, we've got it as from the low here. We've got it here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for wave 4. Now, wave 4 is over here. That can also be put there. It should be. So this this A, B, C here for wave 4 can come back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or close to the 95. If the 95 becomes the support, then we're in a different situation at that point. Okay, so all I can do is just continue to count this up here, and we're looking at it as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and 5 here for the third wave, then the fourth and the fifth. So we've got the little fifth wave to go for the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. Anything past that, and then we'll have to look at it in a bigger picture. So the bigger picture, if I can just go to maybe the monthly or the weekly or something. Okay, so this is the monthly. So we've been looking at this, he'll just go back over this. We've been looking at it as an A wave here, an A, B, C for the B wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the C wave here. And then from that, this is all just a rally. This is all from this move down here. This is all just a rally back to the 61.8% or the 100 in that case, with a major level there at 100 for all of that. We can just put that in orange or whatever. So yeah, all of this is an A and a B and a C here. So then we should be looking down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4, 5, and moving down lower. That's what we're thinking. The other side to this, in terms of going to the upside, I suppose we can look at this as wave 1 here, an ABC back for wave 2 here. But then we would have to look at this as being wave 1 here, and then an A and a B and a C back here for wave 2, and then look at all of this as being bullish up there. Or we get some sort of larger correction where we have to put wave B there, and we've got to put wave C here, and we put wave A here, and we need to look further to the upside at that point. So not ready to rearrange that just yet. We need to understand both counts, of course, and also this move coming down through here, we need to just reevaluate that as well. Let's just have a look on the weekly chart. Can I use that? Yeah, so as I mentioned once before, that I was wondering if, I mean, we know that this little move here is corrective, and we were looking for a fourth wave to come up to here, come back to this point here, and then come down from that point. But what about if this is the third, the fourth, and the fifth here, and this is a truncated fifth wave here, so it hasn't made a new low here, it's just fell a little bit short, and then we've got wave 1 here, and then we need to look at all of that move up there as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave, which takes us up to the 61.8% mark up here, takes us higher at that point. That's what's sort of on my mind at the moment as well, because obviously it's trending up, and not only that, the fact that it found support for me anyway on top of group 1, on top of 93, that sets the target straight away to 95. So if 95 becomes the support, then we have to look up at group 2, and then we'll have to look at all of this here as down for 1 here and back for 2 here. So in the meantime, we are heading up to 95, which will put pressure on to, now that we've finished that little correction in here and we're pushing higher, and that's going to put pressure on commodities and also other currencies as well. So stocks, so we know that the iron ore market's pushing up, the crude market's been pushing up, so we need to and the copper. So let's just have a look at US BHP first. So let's just go back to the daily chart with these. So yesterday we're calling a low in place. We're looking to go long now. US BHP, that's got a better situation than the Australian BHP because this is the top in Australia, but in New York it's this one here. So an A and a B and a C wave here, rather swift, sharp for a C wave. So that I find that a bit haunting. But still, we've counted down as 1 and 2, a nice strong third wave, fourth wave, and then looking down for the low here. So we don't fully have an impulse wave off the low here yet. You can see that when you look at that, it's really, if we take it from this low, we can see that it could be viewed as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for that too. Do you know what I mean? We don't have a 5 wave structure up here just yet. We've only got 3 waves. We've got 1 and 2. And we need 3, 4. We want to see 5 waves. That's what we want to see eventually. So currently we've only got, looks like it's at 3 waves here. So that's the risk. So we could actually just come down from this point, right? So that's the risk of being long here at this point. Okay, so just on the tick chart where we were yesterday, and let's just get a bit more data in here for that. So from wave 4, blue wave 4, we've counted, I won't go over it again because we went to it today, but we'll just go in green of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, calling the low in here and looking at to go long at this point. That's the risk. We should see, well, it was obviously up overnight, so yeah, let's just see. For the stop for this, though, is that let's just take that high and that low. That's the 61.8%. So if we're going to put a stop in here, we would want to be below that level at this stage. It's just a very simple way to do it. So we'll leave that there. We'll look at Australia BHP. I didn't look at gold either. Better do that now. So this is how we're looking at gold. We can also have this come back down to the 61.8%. But as I mentioned yesterday, the 1740 as a retested resistance, then we'll need to look at this market in a more bearish light. So we're not there yet, so we'll just wait. With wave 1, an A and a B and a C wave here. The other way to count this though is on the bearish side, is looking at it like this here. So from wave 2 up here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, an A and a B and a C for 2 here, and then looking down further at that point. And in this case here, if we were looking at this as being corrective, then we would use that point there and that one there for that. So that would be the bearish side of things. Okay, so I want to go back to BHP. Sorry about missing that. BHP here. So just on the tick chart, just what we did with US BHP, but in this case we can look at this as being wave A here. We've got 2 positions in here now, so we've got, it's all high risk though. So I assumed that this was a little 5-wave move here to make wave 1 and then an ABC here, and now we're looking at this. So let's just it might not be the right degree of labeling, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that can just fold back. I mean, it could be corrective as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for that. But what we also need to do here now is we need to take that low and that current high, and we can see the 61.8% is there. So that means we need to copy that. We need to put our stop under that. We can adjust that later in real terms, but at least we've just put one in there to stop anything really savage happening to us. But we'll adjust that. And because that 5 waves up there will either, you know, or let's just put that in there. I mean, obviously that can jump today, but But we could also expect a pullback into that space there as well, depending on how far that jumps up there. But we're looking for some sort of, hopefully something like that, you know. But as I mentioned, this can be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave finishing here, and that's the end of it, you know. And this will be the same for the other markets as well. We'll look at them quickly. So Rio here, we've been clicked in with Rio. Also too, we're calling the low in here, but it can be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Once again, we'll just copy that and we'll put this just under here for that. It's all very high risk buying at the bottom, you know. It's not, it's just more for fun really at this point, but let's just keep an eye on this. And yeah, and the other one, forward skewed. So we looked at wave 4 being over here. Do I have a wave 5 there? No, I need a wave 5. So in this case, we did half a position here, and we're looking for another position up here. Let me just count this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to pull back here. If you're long, you're long. You know, at this point. Can that extend up any further? And will it be a wave 4 pulling back? Let's just. We can adjust it anyway. That's the wave 4. So it can pull back to there at some point, but you can adjust that later. So I'm not sure where that's going to be, but it'll be wave 4 and then wave 5. And then there'll be another ABC pattern here for that. And we should label this, label it with what though? This one? Anyway, this gives us a little bit of a structure at this particular point. I mean, this is looking really good as an impulse wave to the, you know, to the off the low. So once we get that impulse wave there, that means we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Then those 5 waves will confirm that we get a correction, and then the next 5 waves, which will take us up much higher. So if you're not in this market, then we'll buy that pullback here. I think I might get some myself. But once we get those 5 waves there, that's going to make life a little bit easier at that point, okay? Yeah, 5 waves tells us we're going to get a correction, then another 5. The correction may not be this big, so just we need to be mindful of that as well. Alrighty, I've waffled on long enough, too long, so I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.